points for all of you watching out there very carefully. As I stated before, very critical the pilot spends time on each point for the judges. Managing the power, you hear the power coming back, 2 of 8 for a high G push. And Marty ends figure 5 as he pushes into 6. This is a push hammerhead. Marty's looking out over the left wing to keep the vertical line. And if you notice when he gets to the top, he actually pivoted right, which is very, very smart. Pivoting into the wind to gain ground back on the round. He does a quarter roll. Nicely done there by Marty Forno. Into figure 7, pull to 45. He drives back into the wind, full inside snap roll for a big negative push around. As he floats this, the G is creeping up on him for a half roll to finish figure 7. He will go quickly into 8, as you notice, setting himself up for the P loop, push. All these pilots are being tested today, given the current conditions. We should see a 3/4 roll followed by a quarter roll, opposite direction. And now half roll, figure 9, and we're going into figure 10. Lay down Humpty, push into it, 4 of 8 points. And Marty will push all the way around to 45 degrees for a 2 of 4 points. See the wing? Moving around there. Little critical angle of attack exceeded. Half roll, followed by a 2 of 4. Pull around, half loop. Half inside flick, same direction, 4 of 8. Left. Marty has finished that figure into a P loop, half roll. Marty's bringing the aircraft around, picking up the ground as he comes to the vertical down here, setting himself up for the final figure of the sequence. Into figure 14, another lay down Humpty into the wind, 45 degrees, 4-point roll. He'll pull that MX2 all the way around, back to 45 degrees for the half roll to finish his sequence. The 2023 U.S. National Aerobatic Championships here in Salina, Kansas. And there's your wing wags, a signal to the judges that he has done his flight, and Marty will safely come back and land his aircraft.
All right, well, it is windy and hot. We are in Salina, Kansas, watching the 2023 U.S. National Aerobatic Championships with you. Marty Forno just flew in his MX2. We have several pods left to go. I'm going to bring up a little schedule for everybody. This is Jim Burke. I'm here with Goody Thomas on the microphones, Forrest Fox on the camera. Steady state wind speed is at least 15 knots at this point. Agreed, Goody?
Absolutely.
Between 15 and 20. The wind in the box, probably higher than that. Windsock looks like it's pointed about 45 degrees away from us. So wind directly from the southwest, pushing away from the judges, and very strong out of the south, causing troubles for many of our competitors today. But the show goes on. And up next, we have Luke Penner from Canada flying an extra 330 SC, one of the stronger pilots at the event.
Yeah, Luke Penner is another one of our Canadian pilots that has flown many miles to get down here for this wonderful contest. He'll be flying at the 2023 World Advanced Aerobatic Championships in Jean, Nevada, representing Canada, along with several other Canadian pilots. Luke lives for aerobatics. That is his life. Luke operates an aerobatic flight school, and it's a family affair. He and his father have successfully run a aviation flight school for many years, providing flight instruction to lots of pilots. 2016, Luke won for Canada the Goodrich Trophy. It's awarded to the highest placing non-U.S. citizen by order of category at the U.S. National Aerobatic Championships, beginning with the unlimited category and progressing downward towards the sportsman category. Also, the prestigious 2017 David Charles Abramson Memorial Award for Flight Instruction and Safety Award was presented to Luke for his chief flight instructor position. Luke will be flying sequence A today, Alpha. His teammate Ryan Chapman, pilot number 2 today, also flew Alpha. These are the only 2 competitors flying sequence A today.
All right, we had a few technical difficulties. I think it resolved now. Looks like the live stream is working again. I had to start it and stop it again. Very sorry for everybody who's watching at home and hoping to watch continuous coverage. We're sure trying to provide that for you, but we do have the live stream going again. Luke Penner, currently in the box, climbing and getting ready for his flight.
Luke is climbing up to position himself. Typically, these pilots are anywhere between 2,800 and 4,000 feet to set themselves up for the initiation of the sequence, to give them time to present the wing wags and get the energy state for the airplane to commence the sequence. Depending on category and sequence combination, you'll see a variety of speeds that pilots enter the box. And Luke is also flying a extra 330 SC. He just recently acquired and absolutely loves the airplane. He's still learning the aircraft. Very happy, fortunate to be in this airplane. As Luke comes around, there's 1, 2, and 3 wing wags indicating to the judges the start of his sequence. With a downwind entry, Luke Penner, figure number 1, P-loop. He's pushing around, looking over his left wing, transitioning over the cowling to pick up for the 3/4 opposite direction rolls. Into figure 2, lay down Humpty, 2 of 4 points on the 45 ascending line. Luke's bringing the nose of the aircraft back around to 45 degrees for a 2-point roll as the winds continue to wreak havoc on all the pilots today. Luke's going into figure 3, P-loop, 8-point roll on the top. Very crispy, showing all the points to those judges. 2 of 8 points with a big push. 6 to 7 negative G's around the corner. Setting up for figure 4. A push, push, pull, Humpty bump. He's repositioning himself in the box. We'll have a 1/4 roll on the vertical down line. Gaining energy for figure 5. Line lengths need to be the same. Luke's traveling about 180 knots through the box right now. Pulling for 45 degrees for a 4-point roll. Go pull around on this lay down Humpty. Transitioning over the wing to the nose, picking up the ground. Looking for that half roll. He's looking where he is in the box for spacing. As he enters figure 6, full inside snap roll on the 45 line. That was Taco Crispy. Pushing around for a half roll. bottom of the reverse half Cuban. We're into figure 7. You'll notice Luke will drive this very far into the box due to the strong wind conditions for a hammerhead stall turn. And Luke is setting himself up as he stall turns. This will be full left rudder. He's looking out the left wing. He sets the nose. He's back to the wing, making sure he's perfectly vertical. He's going to see a half roll. A lot of energy here, setting up for figure 8. Big, high-speed negative push into figure. Here's our square loop. See, break the line nicely there. And a quick count. Now Luke has energy for figure snap roll on the top of the square loop. Making sure line spacing's nicely. He'll close this half square loop. He'll wait before he does a 2 of 4 to make sure the line lengths are correct, and there's his 2 of 4 as he pulls into the half loop up. Half inside snap, going left, followed by same direction, 4 of 8 points. Luke will drive all the way across the box for a half loop down, half roll. Set himself up for figure 11. He's been hanging on the straps for a while, so around this corner he's really holding the G's in. Half roll into figure. He's pushing into what we call the goldfish maneuver. Full roll on the 45 line. He'll float the airplane around as he comes back to 45 degrees in the looping portion of the goldfish. Constantly aware of where he is in the box. Positioning is such a key element in the final scoring of an aerobatic sequence. Setting up figure 12, full roll, half loop push down. 1.5 roll to upright finish.
Okay.
Into figure 13. He's pulling vertical to set himself up for the hammerhead turn. Luke's out over the wing, making sure he's perfectly vertical. You'll see the rudder kick hard left as you do there. A little forward stick, opposite aileron, the torque of the airplane. Here comes his half roll. He's going to push out. These guys love to push these airplanes. All right, we're going into figure 14, his last figure. Push Humpty, 4 of 8 on the push 45 degree line. And he will push around. Two of 4 points on the 45 descending line. And that will be the end of the sequence. Luke is indicating he's done. I know he'll be glad to get on the ground and have a nice cold water to get some of the sweat out of his eyes.
All right, that was Luke Penner flying an extra 330 SC in the Advanced Free Unknown. 4 pilots remaining in this program. Kong Yan flying a Sukhoi Su-26 is next. Then Jerry Riedinger in the extra NG, Mario Mena in the extra 330 SC, and Grant Nielsen in the extra 330 SC. And possibly we'll see a couple of other pilots that had to quit early, possibly due to mechanical issues. They might be coming back in to fly their sequence again. As it is right now, as far as we know, just the 4 pilots remaining. We do have some provisional scores, not final scores, but provisional scores so far. Michael Lentz has the strongest score of those posted for this category in this program, followed by Britt Lincoln. And then Katerina Volkova. We're expecting to see some more scores soon. Maybe that will change. As is right now, Britt Lincoln would have enough points to take victory in the advanced national championship. But those are provisional scores, subject to protest and correction. So we don't know exactly who that would be, of course, yet. We have more flights to go. And we have a number of pilots who've flown very well who haven't had their scores input to the system yet. So we'll have to wait and see. Occasional wind gusts here you might hear in the microphone, I don't know, but occasional wind gusts of 20 knots or so, maybe 25 knots. The flights will continue as long as the crosswind component on the primary runway is 20 knots or less, and thus far that has been the case today, so we expect the flight program to continue to conclusion at this point with only 4 pilots remaining. Here's a Sukhoi in the box, flying warm-up figure. Obviously that's Kong Yang. The only Sukhoi at the contest this year. Back in the day, they were very common, but not so much anymore. Always fun to watch these aircraft fly. Very distinctive sound, and just kind of never really changing speed at all in the box. Always flying the exact same speed.
Yeah, Jim, the Sukhoi made its debut in the early 80s and dominated the aerobatic scene. The Sukhois, the Su-26 model, the Su-31 model, Cap 232s, those aircraft were the aircraft of choice at World Championships over many years into the 90s through the early 2000s, and the Extra came on the scene in the mid 2007, 2009 era. The first time I saw that aircraft was in Silverstone, England in 2009, flown by the French. Wonderful airplane, but the Sukhoi in its time, and still to this day, is a very dominant aircraft in the aerobatic world. As Jim said, it has an extremely unique sound to it. Kind of reminds me of some of the Reno Air Race airplanes, Rear Bear in particularly. It has a beautiful hum to it when the sun's hitting the massive 3-blade propeller. Some beautiful disc in front of the aircraft. And it does, we sort of joke around, it's like a tractor, because at times it seems to just be tractoring along in the sky, still moving when other aircraft would just not be able to due to the tremendous amount of thrust that the engine produces with the propeller combination over the flight control. It's very controllable at slow speeds.
Following Kong Yang's flight, we have Jerry Riedinger flying the Extra NG, Mario Mena in his Extra 330SC, and Grant Nielson, the Extra 330SC. And then after that, we have another flight later on today, which is going to be the, I believe, intermediate unknown, and some primary pilots flying. So I'll get a schedule up on that later. Kong Yang obviously getting ready to set up for his flight. Actually, I'll bring up the schedule now if I can.
Kong Yang also will be flying program J Juliet. As we have seen, other competitors today have chosen that particular sequence for their likings.
This program here will be done around 4 o'clock. After that, we'll have the mixed program with glider, intermediate, unknown, and the power primary flight. So stay tuned for that following the advanced free unknown. Looks like Kong is setting up for his flight. Could be diving in soon.
You can see that beautiful 3-blade propeller in front of that 360 horsepower radial engine as he wing wags inverted to initiate to the judges the start of his sequence for figure number 1, the square loop. Coming in about 450 clicks, as the Sukhoi would indicate inside. Push into that vertical line, making sure the symmetry of every line of the loop, the square loop with the snap on top, is equal length. You saw the big rudder rotate the nose of the aircraft around as he pushes the vertical down. And he's very careful to not start the next figure until the line length of the top line is equal to the bottom line. As he goes into figure 2, driving into the wind, he's going to push 45 degrees for that full roll on the ascending 45 line. You can see those big ailerons move as Kong Yang rolls the aircraft, pulling around the looping portion of the goldfish. Setting the 45 up, the last element, or the last line, excuse me, of the goldfish. Preparing for figure 3, the full roll, half loop down. There's your full roll. He's going to push around for 1.5 roll on the bottom of the half loop. into figure 4, another lay down Humpty. 2 of 4 points on the ascending 45 line as he drives the airplane back into this extremely strong wind all the competitors are facing today. 1 and 2 points of 4-point roll to pull back around on the lay down portion of the Humpty for a 2-point roll. The speed of the aircraft is increasing rapidly here. He's at a very comfortable altitude for the P-loop because he'll have a lot of energy exiting on figure 5. There's your 8-point roll on top of the loop. Those big ailerons helping the Sukhoi 26 all the way around, showing every point precisely to the judges. 2 of 8 with a big push. You see that prop coming at us, absolutely beautiful as he pushes back vertical for a hammer. The Sukhoi has advantage that you always pivot the aircraft to the right. There's his quarter roll. End of figure into figure 7. First Cuban with a 45 full inside snap roll. Unique characteristic of the Sukhoi and its snapping ability. As he pushes around the looping portion for a half roll, setting up for figure 8. There's your half roll. Goes into his T-loop. You see the aircraft from down here getting pushed north. Just pushing around for a 3/4 quarter opposite direction roll. Wow. Half roll. We're into figure 10, another lay down Humpty. He'll push to 45, 4 of 8 points. Pushing all the way back around, 2 of 4 points. That'll be into figure, quick half roll to set him up for figure 12. There it is, 2 of 4 points, 1 and 2 for the half loop around. Inside half snap roll, same direction, 4 of 8 points. He chose to go right, which the Sukhoi likes. Figure 13, another P-loop half roll, 3/4 loop, setting himself up for final figure of 14. He'll drive the airplane down, gain energy. He's got lots of energy to show the 4-point roll on the 45 line. Initiating the 4-point. Line leaks need to be equal. See those big ailerons helping that airplane around. Looking for a half roll. And that will be end of figure and end of the sequence. Kan Yan. Flying a Sukhoi 26, he wing wags to the judges, and out he goes to the north, setting up for landing on 17.
All right. Well, wind to calm down a little bit somewhere in there. Not quite blowing me away as much as it was. J.D. Rittinger is probably in the hold now, getting ready for his flight in his extra NG. We are having a little bit of choppy signal in our live stream coverage. The live stream will be saved off and played at full bit rate later on. So if you're having some trouble watching it, just check back in later. We'll get you a much better version of the coverage. But for now, we're going to continue. Hopefully, we'll be able to give you high quality coverage. But we're doing everything we can with that. If you're on the live chat, then feel free to type in any questions you might have, and Goody and I will take care of you and try and answer them. Which sequence is Jerry flying, Goody?
Jerry is flying Foxtrot.
Foxtrot. Okay, that begins with a half roll. Popular sequence choice.
And Jerry from the Washington State area, flying the Extra NG, one of the new generation Extras. Walter Extra has produced a 2-seat aircraft, all composite monocoque fuselage, ergonomically redesigned inside to meet the pilot's needs. Jerry is also involved with the government relations side of the IAC, helping us there also. Jerry comes around for his warm-up figure. The pilots can get a good sense when the nose of the aircraft is pointed back at the ground how much they drifted. They typically try to find a point to pull from on the ground to help them judge the amount of drift, which then they will use in the amount of correction they want to apply in their sequence when they start their unknown sequence. And it is howling down here. Looks like 5 pilots today have chosen to fly sequence F. Everybody has preferences and reasons why they choose the figures they choose. There's a big gust down here. Wow.
Oh yeah, that's 20 plus for sure.
That's 20 plus. It's getting very interesting here today. We wind this competition day down.
We are hanging in there.
4 o'clock, we're hanging in there. All the judges are out there working very hard. No shade for them. Very hot.
All right, Jerry's wagging in. Get ready to start sequence Foxtrot.
And there's his half roll, setting him up for the square loop. Jerry comes across the top, full inside snap roll. Using opposite rudder to slow the rotation of the snap down so you can get a nice, crisp, clean snap as he pushes the nose around. High G there, closing the square loop into figure 3. 2 of 4 points, half loop up. Here's your half snap roll, same direction for 8-point roll. Jerry chooses to go left. These points must be the same direction as he is diligently done. And he's going into a connector figure. This is helping Jerry reposition himself for figure 5. You can see the wind is moving him around, and as he comes across the box for a half roll, down a little bit low towards the bottom of the box, as he's looking for a 45-degree line. Two of 4 points. Into figure 6. 4-point roll on the ascending 45-degree line. He'll be pulling back around for a half roll. as we continue to finish figure 6 for Jerry. There's his half roll. And end of figure. As he sets himself up for figure 7, the winds are very strong. As we've stated many times today, he's going to need to drive this figure very, very far back into the box to the south as he goes to 45 degrees for 2 of 4 points. He's supporting the nose with the elevator, the flight control that controls the pitch of the aircraft as he brings the nose around for a 2-point roll. End of figure 8, a P-loop, pull vertical, and he will push the nose of the aircraft around 3/4 of a loop for a 3/4 opposite quarter roll at the bottom. End of figure. Into figure 9, pull 45, full inside snap roll, push around, basically reverse Cuban as he sets himself up for the half roll. There's your high negative G's, pulls to upright, into figure 10. Another reverse half Cuban, half roll, repositioning himself for another half roll to complete figure 10. He's upside down, that's correct, for figure 11. Push 45 degrees into the goldfish. Should have a full roll as he travels further south to fight these strong Kansas winds. Pulling back around, still in the goldfish, figure 11, back to 45 degrees. He'll cap off upright, full roll, push. High G push, as all the pilots have experienced today, around the corner. 1.5 rolled upright. End of figure. He's in a connector figure, figure 11. Excuse me, I misspoke, figure 13. Figure 14, the final P-loop with the 8-point. This is where the speed of the aircraft will increase rapidly. Power reduction helps the pilots. There's 2 of 8 points. Push around, he has finished the sequence. Wagging out. Jerry Reed flying sequence foxtrots. 2 pilots left to total out the 19 competitors for the advanced categories. The scores continue to come in. We're trying to live update you, real-time scores. We have a lot of people working in the background, working really hard to make this happen. We've been very fortunate this year to have wonderful videography for everyone back home to be involved with the U.S. Nationals that could not make it out here, or family and friends. Adds a whole nother element and excitement to the sport that we hope we can continue to bring everyone back home. Next pilot is Mario, pilot 18. He'll be flying sequence Echo. And one more pilot after that, Grant Nielson. So we have 18 and 19 to go. Mario is up next with sequence Echo. Mario is from the Miami, Florida area, flying a extra 330 SC also. Interesting, you'll hear a little bit different buzz with Mario's airplane. He has turned a 4-blade propeller. A lot of the 330s in Europe tend to run the 4-blade propellers due to noise. Noise is more of an issue in the European countries than it is over here in the United States, although we do battle some of that. The 4-blade prop has different characteristics compared to the 3-blade prop. I won't get into too much of that with you, technical wise, but it is a little more pleasant on the ears. And Mario, over the years, was fortunate enough to use A.J. Wilder's extra 330 SC aircraft, which has been a very nice combination. Mario also a recipient of the Goodyear Trophy. As we said earlier, highest placing non-U.S. citizen in order of category at the U.S. National Aerobatic Championships. He also is a recipient of the IAC Achievement Awards for the Advanced Smooth and Stars patch. Mario Sequence Echo. As we wind down this advanced category, see the vans coming across the taxiways. There's a constant work in progress behind the scenes here at the U.S. Nationals on every facet, from the videographers to the contest director, Shad, who's done a fantastic job, all the scoring that takes place back at the hangar, the starters, the list just goes on and on, too many to mention right here, but the vans shuffle back and forth every day, many times a day, swapping judges around. So they keep the contest moving along with the local airport authority. Has been very helpful and continue to make this contest run smoothly.
Score update for us. Still in first place in this program, Michael Lentz, 82.57%. In second place, though, now in this program, Luke Penner, 82.21%. And in third place, Britt Lincoln at 81.05%. Of course, these are provisional scores. We'll have to wait for the protest period to expire, and we'll have to wait for everyone to check everything, make sure they got everything correct before we'll know for sure what the final scores are. Marty Forno, fourth place, 78.96%. David Taylor, fifth place, 76.03%. Adam Messenheimer, sixth place, 75%. Mike Galloway, seventh place, 73.97%. Kat Volkova, eighth place, 70.57%. Then Stan Moy, and currently in 10th place, Steve Johnson.
All right, Mario's in the box. He is, looks like he's into the sequence. I heard the whistle off to my right from Peggy, which indicates the start to the judges that we've started. There's the first line of the square, initiating his full inside snap roll with that beautiful buzz of the 4-blade propeller as he pushes into line 3 of the square loop. Mario, a seasoned competitor. He's closing this loop up and to figure 2, 2 of 4 points as he pulls around in the half loop for the half inside snap, followed by same direction 4 of 8 points roll. There's your half flick going to the left. All these points should be exactly the same to the left also, which was correct. As he's going into figure 3, connector figure setting him up for figure 4 to have the proper energy to present all of the points on the 45 ascending line. As Mario comes around, picking up the box, half roll, pushing to 45 degrees, 4 of 8 points. As the G onset will increase, as Mario's looking over the left wing, now he's picking up the nose of the aircraft to ground for a 2 of 4 points. End of figure, figure 5. He's driving the aircraft across the box as the wind pushes him north for 2 of 4 points. Pull the nose of that extra 330 SC around to 45 degrees for a 2-point roll combination. End of figure, figure 6. He's going to pull back to 45 degrees for a 4-point roll. 3 and 4 as he pulls back around to the 45, setting himself up for the half roll. There's Mario's half roll into figure 7, another P-loop. He'll pull vertical off that left wing, and he's going to transition off the left wing over the nose. As he's pushing around, he's going to start picking up box markers left and right in his peripheral vision. Pushing hard as he's hanging from those belts for a 3/4 quarter roll. Opposite direction, correctly done as he goes into figure number 8. Full inside snap roll on the 45 ascending line. Not sure, I might have missed that. I could have blinked there. As he goes around the half loop, should be a half roll. And we're going into figure 9. If I missed that, that's my apologies. We should be pulling to 45 degrees and a half roll into figure 9. Half roll on the bottom of this reverse to figure 10 goldfish. Full roll on the ascending 45 line. You'll pull back around to 45 degrees. And then he will cap off upright, setting himself up for figure 10, a figure 11. Full roll, push half loop down. There's your full roll, push. 1.5 roll on the bottom of the push half loop. Finish upright. He's in figure 12. Gain a little bit of altitude, setting himself up for figure 13 to gain a little more altitude and have enough energy to really show the last figure of the sequence, which will be 14. He's flying across the box, he's looking around, seeing his positioning, being very precise of where he makes this next critical decision in his roll. There's his half roll. Pull around to 45 degrees, half roll. Mario's picking up those box markers. He has himself positioned properly into the P-loop, 8 points. You heard a little power reduction. He knows there's a 2 of 8 with a high G push. You don't want too much energy around that corner. And Mario is finished with that sequence. There's your wing wags to exit out. Pilot number 18, flying sequence Echo, is finished in that beautiful 330 SC with the 4-bladed prop. Grant Nielson, pilot number 19, is up next, flying sequence Foxtrot as the winds continue to blow. So far today, coming up on top of the hour, 4 o'clock here in Salina, 19 pilots. With our last pilot to finish up the advanced unknown category, Grant Nielson. Grant resides down in Florida. His previous aircraft, as he's in his warm-up safety maneuver, was Bubbles flying a CAP 232. Grant is new to the Extra 330 SC, also sporting a 4-blade propeller. Nice little bumblebee sound, very pleasant on the ears. Grant Nielson was flying the CAP 232, as I've recently mentioned, and he's enjoyed running that airplane for many years, running the MT prop and the 540 Lycoming. The CAP did dominate the World Aerobatic Championships for many years, popular aircraft amongst the French pilots. Grant did grow up in an aviation loving family. His father was a pilot and his brother was a career Air Force officer. After taking his first aerobatic ride, Grant was bitten by the bug, so to speak. And here comes Grant, flying sequence F, Foxtrot. There's his half roll, setting up for the square loop. Grant's pushing across the top, gaining speed for the full inside snap roll to show pitch and rotation to the judges. As Grant comes across the top line, he's transitioning back over the nose for the vertical down. Push exit, close the square, right into figure 3, 2 of 4 points, half loop up. Looks like Grant is continuing on. Half loop up, half inside, snap, same direction, 4 of 8. End of figure. Into figure 4, a connector, repositioning figure, set himself up for properly place figure number 5. Driving the aircraft across the box. It's like swimming upstream with this much wind. He's looking at the box upside down, being very careful though as he pulls around. Easy G on his body, but spacing the aircraft properly for figure 5. As he pulls around, the looping portion half roll. Picking up his box markers in left and right, saying I like where I see and where I am. Setting up for the half roll. Into figure 5, push 45, lay down Humpty, 4 of 8 points. Grant will push all the way around on the descending 45 line. As the blood slowly moves into his head here as he's pushing around, setting up for 2 of 4 points. Aircraft speed's increasing pretty rapidly at this point. He's going downwind. Aircraft's covering a lot of ground, setting up for 4-4 on the lay down Humpty. 3, there's his 4th point of the 4-point roll, pulling around on the lay down Humpty for the half roll. Into figure 7. Halfway through, pulling to 45 degrees, 2 of 4 points on a lay down Humpty. Pulling the nose of the aircraft back around for a 2-point roll on the descending 45-degree line. moving across the box very rapidly, the ground speed with that much wind pushing him to the north, setting himself up in his P-loop. It's a push P-loop. He sets the line vertical using that sighting device. He's pushing over and around as he transitions over the nose of the aircraft, keeping his wings level at all times for a 3/4 quarter roll opposite. Into figure 9. He's going to pull 45 degrees, full inside snap roll. There's your snap roll. Pushing the aircraft all the way around, and a pushing looping portion of the figure for a half roll at the bottom to finish figure 9. Here's our half roll into figure 10. It's going to pull 45, half roll. Reverse Cuban, setting himself up for 11 as Grant brings the nose of the aircraft around. Brown becomes blue. It's a beautiful sky comes into view with a half roll. Into a goldfish, push 45 degrees. Full roll. Pull back around on the looping portion of the goldfish. He's continuing to pull around as he fights the wind. Back to 45 degrees. He'll gain some altitude here as he needs it for figure 12 because it's a half loop down. He'll initiate number 12 with a full roll, half loop push down. So looking for our full aileron roll. There it is. He's pushing around for 1.5 roll at the bottom. Looking for our 1.5 roll, here it comes. And he is into figure 13, a repositioning figure we call a connector. Yep. And it looks like Grant's taking a break, getting himself set up to run the last couple figures of the sequence. We will see as he rounds out the field of 19 flying sequence Foxtrot and the new 330 SC. A beautiful airplane Grant has. He's really been enjoying flying it. Happy to see that he's made the transition nicely. Airplane that he likes. And Grant's going to just reposition himself. The weather's had no mercy today on any of the pilots. Hot temperatures, high winds. Made every pilot pull out every stop, every trick in the book to continue to fly a nice, beautiful sequence for the judges. Grant's coming back around. He's on a base leg. We'll see where he picks up the sequence, whether he picks it up in the connector or figure 14. Not really sure. Waiting for his wing wags to indicate to the judges he's ready to start. There they are. There's 2 and 3. The whistle I heard. He might be picking it up in the P-loop. I will soon know. Okay, it looks like he's picking it up at figure 13, which is the connector. So there's your half roll. Gain a little momentum. Bringing the aircraft back around to lay out inverted for his half roll for the final dismount of sequence F, Foxtrot. Grant Nielson for figure 14, P-loop, 8-point on the top of a P-loop. They push exit 2 of 8. Looking for 8 points from Grant. Here's where the speed of the aircraft creeps up on the pilots, throttle coming back. 2 of 8 points with a push exit. And a end of sequence for Grant Nielson with a wing wag. I know he's probably glad to be done today. It's tough conditions for all the pilots.
I bet you're glad to be done today, Goody.
Yes, yes. I am. It's been a lot of fun out here with Jim Burke and Forrest Fox. A lot of dust in the air.
No new updates to the scores since the last time we reported on it. We do have scores for the, well, we have some of the scores for this unknown program. Currently in first place with the scores already in is Michael Lentz, followed by Luke Penner, then Britt Lincoln. Marty Forno in 4th place, David Taylor in 5th place, Adam Messenheimer, Michael Galloway, Kat Volkova, Stan Moy, Steve Johnson, Darren Beam, Tom Thomas, and Barrett Hines. Jerry Riedinger. I'm sorry, Jerry Riedinger does not have scores in. Those who do not have scores in include, of course, Jerry, Mario Mena, Chris Magon, Ryan Chapman, Kong Yan, and Grant Nielsen, of course, who simply just now flew. Now, we did have a couple people who stopped flying. One of them for mechanicals, but I don't see if we're going to be continuing. Forrest, have you had any information on that at all? Are we done? Do we have anyone who's still flying who's going to refly because of mechanical reasons or anything? All right, well, I think we're done. I think we're going to sign off if we...
Judges are getting up like we're done.
Yeah, it looks like we are done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for watching along. This has been the unknown at the 2023 U.S. National Aerobatic Championships. We'll see you next time.